Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 43. Before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right. So we start the episode off with Hayley and Randy talking about whatever they're talking about. Basically, Hayley complaining about this con not moving as fast as she wants it to move, and it's because you fooling around, you messing around. Like when he was telling you to do what you were supposed to do, you didn't want to do it. You wanted to do it your way. Now you caught up in Lynette's mess, and now she's coming for your neck, and that's on you. I mean, it is what it is. So they're talking about that, and Madison and Chelsea, they're looking at them and they're wondering what's going on. Chelsea's just like, oh, he's she wants to know who this is and all this other stuff. So they walk up to them or whatever, and he leaves. She tells him, oh, that's Sammy. He's the one who helped me when I had my miscarriage and all this other stuff or whatever. So Chelsea was just like, oh, so are you hiring a hitman or whatever? And Haley's just like, oh, I would never do anything to harm another human being. Now, your mom, on the other hand, she's the one who, and she lists off what Danny's done. And Haley and Chelsea ain't say nothing. And I was just like, you and your sister are so, y'all are such ops when it comes to your mom. Like, I would have been saying, if the first mention of her saying anything about my mom and the right hook, girl, you harmed my mama by sleeping with my daddy. What are you talking about? You do harm human beings. Just because you didn't physically harm her don't mean that you ain't harm her. So yes, you are the type of person who would harm a human being. Like, I need y'all to be quick on it. Like, you and Naomi always letting people talk about your mom and y'all don't say nothing. It's so irritating. But I digress. Sorry about that. So she breaks down and she says, I'm looking for a bodyguard because I'm so scared. And she just like puts 20 on 10. Chelsea starts to feel bad about her. She mentions that she still has nightmares, and Madison is just like, oh, you still have nightmares about Allison? And she just like, brushes it off or whatever. So they're still talking, and then Hayley starts, she starts crying and she's talking about Bill's blood work. And Madison couldn't say anything because, of course, she's a doctor. So Hayley says it, and then she breaks down crying and just faking the funk. And so um, Chelsea's just like, we'll take you back to my dad's or whatever, take you back to the office or whatever. So we see Tomas. He comes into Bill's office and he tells him, I just got a call that Lynette's charges have been dropped. Her case has been dropped. And Bill tries to play it off, but Tomas sees through him, and Bill flexes his power or whatever. So he tells him how he got the charges dropped and how he made connections being on Danny's arms, and that's why he pushes his partners to have families or whatever. And he talks about Danny when when they got married, he would invite his partners or his clients places, and Danny would be friends with the wife, and then they would all get close because of Danny and all this other stuff. And it's just like, so you really use Danny until you couldn't use her no more, is what I'm hearing. Because she got you that office, she helped you build the connections that you built, and then you treat her like trash. And then you have the audacity to try to tell somebody how to treat somebody else. So he tells Tomas, he asks Tomas how are things with Kat, and he assures him that he loves Kat and all this other stuff. And Bill says, I have a soft spot for Kat and Martin, and I'm always, since I saw them grow up, and I'm always going to be protective of them. Tomas is just like, oh, so this is a test. And he was just like, Bill is just like, every time you come in this office, it's a test, blah, 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 blah. He asked about, Tomas tells him about, them almost moving in together, but not really, but he loves her and whatever. And it was just like, you, Bill, you're telling Tomas that you're protective of her while you're also telling Tomas to use her to get where he needs to be. How protective of her are you? Like, are you really protective of her? Or, like, I need to know that part, but it is what it is. So that's when, Tomas has left, and we see him go to the club, and he makes a call to one of his homeboys who lost his job, and then he like hurries up and gets off the phone with him, and then he calls another friend in the Navy, and that one is made president of a company, and he wants them to meet so that he can introduce him to his girlfriend and all this other stuff. And it was just like, Tomas is just a user, and I'm just so over his character, like, over it. I'm so sorry. That was loud. I'm sorry. But I'm over it. So, hey, Chelsea and Madison bring Hayley down to the office, and she's crying, and now she's putting 30 on 10 and crying her eyes out. Bill says he's going to take care of her. Chelsea and Madison leave, and they have a discussion in the hallway about Chelsea still having nightmares and that she should see a therapist. But Chelsea's just like, all I need is wine and my wifey. And Madison is just like, that's self medicating, but I'll let you make it through the night. But we need to get you into a therapist's office, basically. And they leave. Again, Hayley is putting 30 on 10 now. She's crying her eyes out, saying she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't want to be so fragile with having such a strong, powerful husband and all this other stuff. And so she guilts him into taking a break or whatever. And he was just like, why would you go to Sammy and get help from Joey and have Joey, now you owe Joey a favor? And she was just like, oh, so it's okay for you to owe him a favor, but not me. And she, again, she guilt trips him into feeling bad for her. So she wants them to take a break and says they should go out of town and go to St. Bart's. Yeah. So we see, and I don't have a picture for it, so we're just gonna go from here to here. So we see Leslie. She's at Orphe Jeans. They're still at Orphe Jeans. I think this is the same day. Is it the same day? I can't remember. Yeah, it is the same day. So she's at Orphe Jeans, and she was in the restroom. She comes back out with a wedding magazine, and she's just like, oh, look at this. And Eva's just like, this ain't the time. Let's talk about the clinic. So they're talking about the clinic. Eva gets a text from Derek about the work, and Leslie makes a dig about it. And Eva tells her, why don't she just go back to the hotel and just chill while they do all of this? And Leslie's just like, no, she wants her turn at the spotlight. And since she wasn't able to do it, since Kat stopped him the last time, she knows who she can go to get it done. So we see Vanessa and Joey, and they're at his casino. They're making out, they're being all flirty or whatever, doing whatever, I guess. And she tells him about the double date. He complains about it. She makes a comment about how fine Dr. Kyle is. They start kissing, and then Leslie walks in. Joey is annoyed, and he's just like, why are you here? She throws a shade at Vanessa, and flirts with Joey, and Vanessa's not having it. She mentions, she talks about the press conference, and Joey wants to know what it's about. And so she mentions that um, the plaque that's outside of the club should be outside of the casino, since this is where Doug really liked to be. And Vanessa lunges at her, but Joey stops her and tells her the press conference is a bad idea. Leslie doesn't want to hear it. Joey is just like, Joey says, like, it's not the message, it's a messenger. And she makes a dig at him being a crime boss, and he tells her he put a bunch of money into this, and they need support of the community and donors, and he doesn't want it to crash and burn because of her, and they need to put someone more likable front and center. Um she says, I'm the daughter of music royalty. And it was just like, girl, no, you're not. Your mama was not a part of the group when they became what they became. She started the group and she was there in the beginning, but them becoming musical royalty, your mama was not a part of that. So you are not a part of that. Your mama didn't even want you to be a part of her. So miss me with that. But whatever. Um she says she's been accepted by Fairmont, and she thinks she can win something. Vanessa was just like, unless you can bribe everyone. Joey says Vanessa should be front and center. Vanessa's just like, no, I have, someone else in mind. And Leslie's just like, I hope it's not that child who keeps running her mouth saying she stole her, that she's saying that I stole her idea. And it's just like, and Vanessa was just like, no, not Samantha. And it's just like, but you did steal her idea. You and your trifling ass daughter stole her idea. Okay. So Vanessa says no. She thinks Derek would be good front and center, since he's the general manager and he's the person who's going to be dealing with people. That's who people need to see or whatever. So Leslie shows him a picture of Derek when he was in the hospital after he done got, hurt or whatever. And Vanessa's just like, that's not a good picture, blah, 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 whatever. Leslie calls Derek. Derek has her saved in the phone. Don't answer. He gives the phone to Eva. Leslie thinks she called the wrong number, but she was just like, no, he's here. She tells him, we're coming down or whatever. So they leave, and they meet at Orphe Jeans, and they ask Derek if if he'll do the press conference. Derek isn't so sure about it. Vanessa and Leslie have a go back and forth, and they trade jabs at each other or whatever. And it was just like, I hate that they only allow Vanessa, low key. Vanessa's the only person who is able to go back and forth with Leslie and have a win. Everybody else has to sit there and let Leslie say whatever she wants to say. And it's beyond annoying. It's so annoying. And I wish they would let more people put her in her place, smack her around, let her be afraid to show up. Like, let her be like, oh, wait, let me not play with them. But I digress, whatever. So yeah, so they have their back and forth or whatever. What else happened? Oh, this is another thing that I forgot to mention. When Derek and Eva were together, they were talking about different ideas of what they should do to get everybody to see who the get everybody to like see who the what's it called? See about the club or whatever. And she was just like, post flyers up around everywhere. He says maybe we can get food trucks to come and serve free food or whatever, and they can they can pay for it to have a food truck there out there for whatever. And she was just like, oh, Samantha would love to help with fundraisings. And I was just like, so now you want to call Samantha to come and help y'all raise money after y'all done stole this idea from her and didn't let her have any say so in an idea that she came up with. She came up with this idea because of her mama. And y'all stole it from right up under her. And now y'all are trying to make it seem like, oh, you've been thinking about doing this and then. No, y'all can miss me with that. Whatever. Vanessa and Leslie going back and forth. Derek shuts them down and they all agree to coexist. They talk about what they have so far. Vanessa says they should think about partnering up with Garland, and Derek says he'll speak with Leah, and if Leah agrees, then he'll do the press conference. They also say something about, they talk about the food trucks, and then Leslie was just like, oh, who's going to donate the money for this? And it was just like, oh, so you could donate the money for other stuff, but you can't donate money for the less needy to have food. So why do you really want to have this? Why are you really doing this free clinic? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So again, Derek agreed to do the press conference if Leah says they can partner. They asked Leslie if she's okay with this. And of course, Leslie being a child, she does the thumbs down and then she puts her thumbs up. And she's mad because she won't be in the spotlight. So we see, sorry, we see Randy come into Joey's, and Joey is pissed because he's just like, where were you? I paid you to keep Leslie out my hair and you were never around. She got through all these locked doors, got into my fine scotch and all this other stuff. Randy says he'll look into it and see what happened. Joey asked him where he was, and he says, oh, I was uptown checking on the deliveries and blah, 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 whatever. So he leaves, and Joey's looking like, I don't believe it. But yeah, so that was the episode. Yeah, again. Mm. I'm sorry, y'all. This week was not an enjoyable week for me. These episodes weren't enjoyable. For this episode, the only thing that was just like, oh, okay, was I like the chemistry between Eva and Derek. That was nice. Every like I'm always going to be annoyed with Leslie. So until they do something to like humble her, make her a good, better person, I'm still not gonna like her. I don't care what she's talking about. It is what it is at this point. But yeah, that was the episode, y'all. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications. Get down in the comments. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.